Welcome and thanks for coming. Fort Wayne is many things, but today it is only a shadow of the commercial center it once was, and an even more faint shadow of its commercial potential. We stand here today on the former International Harvester Assembly Plant grounds, where about 10,000 workers were paid well to build an early model SUV called the Scout. Over 30 years ago, this plant was bustling with activities, its workers proudly producing a product that sold profitably around the world. Fort Wayne's neighborhoods, especially on this southeast side, were filled with families supported by this plant. Groceries and clothing were purchased, mortgages were paid down by its payroll. This southeast side of Fort Wayne supported much of the Fort Wayne community. And then it ended. It ended painfully. Some lost pensions. Some, like my father-in-law, eventually were called back to Harvester and chose to drive 2.5 hours one way every day for years just to get their retirement benefits. Life was hard for those families. Indeed, life was hard for all of Fort Wayne at that time. Life also was hard not so long ago for the 20,000 General Electric employees who no longer have jobs today, who may no longer call Fort Wayne home, and if they do, probably have wages substantially lower than they once did. And for Tokheim gas pump laborers and managers, and Lincoln insurance executives, and ITT defense industry executives, and thousands of others. Painfully, Fort Wayne boasts today far fewer national headquarters than it did only a few decades ago. Why? Many reasons, of course, but fundamentally, we grew complacent. We were not diligent about finding, appealing to, and pursuing those companies as much as we had in the past. We stopped expecting more for our collective futures, and our community paid the price. Imagine how different our city would be if those companies and more still called Fort Wayne home. Imagine how much better our schools would be had we not starved them of millions of dollars of tax revenue. Imagine how many more parks and trails we might have. Imagine what our rivers might look like and how they could have been developed years ago. Yes, good things are happening today in Fort Wayne, but they would have happened years ago and in even bigger ways had we not lost the economic impact of these companies and the benefits they brought to our community. It's time for a change. It's time we start expecting more. And so today, with my wife Ange, my family, and many of my friends, I'm proud to announce my candidacy for mayor of Fort Wayne so we can all start expecting more. Thanks. I will campaign to be Fort Wayne's next mayor because someone must remind us of what we have forgotten, namely that expecting more is what humans were designed to do. Expecting more is what drove immigrants to our shores. It coursed through the veins of our pioneer ancestors. Expecting more is what pushed our grandparents to rise early and work late. Expecting more is what revolutionized the American economy through every phase of technological advancement and innovation. We are born with a natural, God-given drive to expect more. Every day the people of Fort Wayne expect more out of city government, but I don't think they're getting it. I believe even in these economic times that our political leadership can deliver far more than what Fort Wayne residents currently experience. I grew up in New Haven, graduated from Purdue Fort Wayne, and IU School of Law in Indianapolis. Ange and I have 5 children and 4 grandchildren, all of whom live in Fort Wayne, and that might make me the luckiest man in Fort Wayne. Since 1994, I've worked for MedPro Group, a Berkshire Hathaway-owned company, where I serve as the Senior Vice President of Operations and Technology. I work with a team of hundreds who together manage tens of millions of dollars in annual budget. I'm humbled to have been part of a business that has grown in the last 24 years from 200 employees to 1,000, from $200 million in top-line revenue to $1.5 billion. MedPro is one of Fort Wayne's greatest success stories, And I believe what I've learned there the last 24 years can and should be applied to government. The principles that make private business successful will work in government. Focus on the customer. That's you, the taxpayer. Spend less than you take in. Negotiate good deals. Treat employees and citizens the way they deserve to be treated. And leverage technology to improve process and service. Like loyal, demanding customers, the hopes and dreams of the people of Fort Wayne are never changing. They're constantly growing. I believe its mayor should also be constantly growing and delivering more every day to the people of Fort Wayne. And that's why I'm running for mayor of our great city. Expect more each and every day when I'm mayor. Expect the safest, smartest, and strongest city in the Midwest. Expect a safer city. Expect safer schools when our city government partners with local schools, both public and private, to ensure the safety of our children. I pray for all people impacted by school shootings, but all of us in Fort Wayne have to work tirelessly every day to make sure that we are not the next Noblesville, Indiana. Sadly, we are numbed by Fort Wayne's crime culture that we read in the paper or watch on the news seemingly every day. Over 100 murders in Fort Wayne the past 3 years, less than a third of which have been solved. Hundreds of drug-related deaths. Overdoses occurring weekly out in the open in the middle of Fryman Square in the middle of the day. This must stop. Expect more when it comes to our neighborhoods. Expect safer streets in your neighborhoods. Expect safer neighborhoods in your part of the city. Many of us seem to be resigned to a certain level of crime, and that is tragic. That we accept the current drug and crime culture and yield to the status quo. I say we should expect more. I say we should expect a safer city. Expect a smarter city. A smarter city government that understands why businesses relocate and move their headquarters and workers to new cities for better opportunity. I support Electric Works because it will bring new jobs and will improve a largely abandoned part of our city. I support Electric Works because it has forced us to debate two issues, each of which are actually more important than the project. First, the ratio of public to private funds in these developments, and secondly, how our city will fill 1.2 million square feet. In short, we need far more private dollars than public in projects like these. And the mayor should be focused on attracting dozens of high-wage employers to fill the space. Expect a mayor who realizes that it is only through new job growth and higher wages that the city's debt and tax burdens will finally be eased. Expect a mayor that understands economic development is not created by government, but rather supported by government in partnership with others. Expect a mayor who knows that the path to a smarter city is not more government, but less government and smarter government with a good business sense. Finally, expect a stronger city with stronger families, stronger neighborhoods, stronger schools, stronger businesses, and stronger nonprofits. Expect to earn more, to learn more, to invest more, and to volunteer more. Strength is not derived from top-down bureaucracies blind to reality or common sense. No, strength comes from sacrifice, humility, and serving others. A stronger community will rise when we together expect more accountability, transparency, authenticity, collaboration between both public and private actors. A stronger community will rise when we reject cronyism and the way it's always been done. Stronger government requires the absence of partiality. Employees should be hired based solely on their merits. Contractors selected based solely on the strength of service and the cost. When politicians have been in office too long, impartiality becomes the victim of relationship, and that's not good for taxpayers. If we want a stronger, healthier culture where everyone thrives because of equal opportunity, then together we must expect more for Fort Wayne to become stronger. much stronger. And that will happen when all of us, especially city officials, reclaim the title of impartial public servants who are elected to serve you, the people of Fort Wayne. Safer, smarter, stronger. With humility, I believe these goals can actually be easy when we have a mayor who rests last at the end of every day. And this is only the beginning. And here is where it gets exciting. As Fort Wayne regirds itself as a safer, smarter, and stronger city, it will emerge as an irresistible magnet in the middle of the Midwest, in the middle of the nation, a magnet for jobs, for people, and for nonprofits.
Yes.
When we begin to expect more, we will become a center for unparalleled regional growth. But more importantly, a center for unparalleled opportunity, as Fort Wayne was when this International Harvester plant was thriving on this very ground. These are not ill-founded hopes and dreams. They are achievable. But all of us, including our elected officials, must expect more and must deliver more. And so, friends, the mission begins today. Let us be moved by what God has given us so that our children and grandchildren remember our example, so that they and their children and their grandchildren enjoy even more opportunities and blessings of a city that is good today, was at one time, I believe, maybe a little bit better, and that will be far better even as we become the premier city in the Midwest. On behalf of Ange, our family, thank you again for coming. Your friendship, encouragement mean more to me than you will probably ever know. May God bless each of you. May God bless the city of Fort Wayne. Thanks.